Have you ever struggled with social anxiety in some way, shape, or form, whether that is going into an interview, meeting a new person, going to a social event, going out on a date, presenting a new idea to your company? We've all been there. And there are five main reasons why that happens and why we don't feel good going into some sort of social interaction. My name is David Blatt, and I'm a real estate salesperson and coach in the greater Boston area. And today I want to teach you the 5 reasons why you may struggle with social anxiety and not only how to fix them, but how to win every social interaction that you come across. Number 1, fear of judgment or rejection. Unfortunately, this is one that is never going to go away. Us as human beings judge. That is our first inclination in anything that we do or see, and that is how we perceive the world. If you go into an interaction knowing that you're giving the best that you can, you are giving the best version of yourself to that interaction that you can, whether you're judged or not, does not play into your worth. It does not play into how well you handle that interaction or how well you did it as a person. That is now in their court. Not everybody is going to like you, and that's okay. And that leads into the second point, rejection. You have to be okay with rejection. My grandma taught me from a very young age that you get half of what you ask for and none of what you don't. Anything you want in life, anything you want out of a social interaction, anything you want out of that person that you're interacting with, you have to be confident with. People can sense anxiety, people can sense nervousness. If you go into that interaction with confidence and you go into what you're asking or proposing with confidence, people will give that back to you. They will feel comfortable with you. They will feel like there's nothing to hide, and that interaction will go so much smoother than it would if you were feeling negatively going into that situation. This rolls into my second point. Number 2, low self-esteem. Unfortunately, this is something that is totally normalized, and that should not be the case. There is something that you can do better than anybody else, a skill set that you have that separates you from everybody else that you come in contact with. But so many people never find out what that is because they go through life thinking that there is always somebody doing something better than them, that there is always someone smarter, stronger, better, faster, better with people than them. But that's just not true. There is something that you possess that separates you. And if you go into an interaction knowing that with confidence behind that skill set, you will always win that interaction. But you have to learn what that is. You have to learn what separates you, and you have to capitalize on that. And that takes me into my third point. Number 3, perfectionism and overthinking. This steals your spark. If you go into everything, whether that's a social interaction, you're going into a new job, a new social event, whatever it is, and you are constantly overthinking everything, you are taking away from the authenticity of that situation. I love the theater arts. Now, my favorite part of theater is improv. I love improv because the actors are so raw and so real in their interactions that they have on stage. They are creating something out of nothing. They are going into a situation not overthinking that, not feeling like they need to be a perfectionist about it, and they are just giving the audience or just a few people, whatever it is, their best in that moment. There is something so amazing about going into any social interaction knowing that it's going to be okay however you go about it. There is a difference between thinking before you say or you act and overthinking. We are taught that the more perfect we present ourselves, the more people will like us. But that steals the authenticity. Like I said earlier, you have to go into an interaction with confidence in how the interaction is going to go. And that leads me into my fourth point. Number 4, past negative social experiences. We've all had them. They happen, and that's okay. Those negative past experiences shape us. I went through all of high school so socially awkward and unconfident in myself, and that shaped how I deal with people today. I feel confident going into just about every social interaction today because I learned from my past. I don't look at my past and think, oh, that's going to happen again. I'm scared because that's already happened. That's happened, learn from it. Feel good that that's already happened to you. You have nothing to worry about. You know how that feels. You can go forward into every other social interaction after that, knowing that if that happens again, that's okay. But you can't live in fear of it, because that is just going to take away from the social interaction. That's going to make it seem awkward. That's going to make it seem weird. And that's not how you win a social interaction. And that brings me into my fifth and final point. Number 5, lack of social skills or experience. This one is the hardest one. Not everybody naturally possesses that extroverted, social, outgoing personality. And that is not something that's necessarily going to change. But there is one major thing that, if everything else goes wrong in a social interaction and you can't keep any of the other 4 points together, remember this one thing: people love to talk about themselves. I read this book a little while back called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And I absolutely love this book because it delves into the human psyche and how much people will learn to trust somebody just by them showing a genuine interest. He goes into the fact that there is such a difference between flattery and showing genuine interest and praise in somebody. Flattery is very cheap and it is so surface level, and people can tell that you are just trying to flatter them to get something out of them. But if you show them genuine interest, genuine praise, and you find something about them that genuinely piques your interest and you think makes them someone that you'd want to interact with, that goes so far with people, and it will so quickly get the ball rolling in how much they trust you and how fast they trust you and how good they feel about that social interaction with you. If you can ask people a few key things about themselves and about what makes them them without digging too deep and without overstepping boundaries, they will trust you. They will feel good about you. Their gut feeling automatically will be, this is a good person that I want to keep having an interaction with. That's also what gets the ball rolling. Small talk is not what gets the ball rolling. That is not how people develop interpersonal connections. Talking about the weather does not make people feel confident and good in your social interaction. If you can dig just a little bit beneath the surface to find out who that person is, they will so happily want to tell you, and then in return, they will want to know that about you too. And once that stage has been passed, the first major boundary between the two of you or the group of you or whatever kind of social interaction you're in has been broken. You've broken the ice. You feel comfortable with each other. Each other's presence is a calming thing rather than something to be nervous or anxious about. And that is how you start to win every social interaction going forward. I hope you enjoyed this 5-tip video, and I hope these are some things that can give you more confidence and feel a little less socially anxious going forward with any sort of social interaction that you have, and that you can go into your next social interaction feeling 100% good that it's going to come out the way that it's supposed to. Until next time, I'm David Blatt, and I hope you enjoyed this video.